Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words and become much more articulate. In today's episode, we are entering the world of storytelling, and I'm going to be breaking down a chapter from my book, The Art and Science of Storytelling, which talks about why it's very smart to view human beings as computers. Let's face it, there's different mental models that human beings use in order to better understand life. We look around and we understand that there's no physical entity known as a 2 or a 4. Yet, these are tools that allow us to navigate the information with our mind. Likewise, whenever we're viewing human beings, there's different things that we can do in order to better relate to the human being. People that are very much into biology view human beings as animals. And every now and then that may work. Whenever you're talking about the primal desires of a person, animal analogies work great. But whenever you're talking about someone's mind, and that's something that storytelling always involves, it deals with dealing with someone's mind. I believe viewing them as a computer rather than an animal is wiser. Now, what do I mean by viewing someone as a computer? Do I mean that they have a mouse and a monitor? No, you may have a big head, but you don't have a monitor. I'm more so talking about the concepts. And in my book, The Art and Science of Storytelling, I talk about 4 different concepts that you need to understand in order to better view human beings as computers. Input, process, store, output. If you understand these 4 components over time, the better that you will be able to simplify your message and understand what makes a certain story stick. So the first part is input. You know, whenever you're, let's say, writing a document, what are you doing? You are using your palms on the computer and you are inputting information into, let's say, Microsoft Word. You are inputting information and the computer is simply taking it. So if I'm viewing another human being as a computer, when I am using my words, they're inputting that information. Now, understanding this is very important because we don't want to get too cute with it. We are using our words in order to enter their mind. And whenever we're using like these really big words, we're rambling, we're using too much language, flowery stuff, it's very difficult for them to input that information. It's sort of like if we're typing, but we're trying to do other things while we're typing. It's going to distract us. So that's number 1. Whenever we are viewing human beings as computers, we are trying to get them to input our information, and we do that effectively by moving efficiently. 2 is process. Process and store, the next 2 components, they kind of play hand in hand. Because whenever human beings are processing information, they're doing it from their pool of experiences. So let's say we're over here trying to input a document on Microsoft Word, but we don't have Microsoft Word. We haven't paid for that subscription yet. Then we can't write anything. And a lot of the times when storytellers are trying to communicate a message to the other person, what happens is that the storyteller is trying to get them to access an application that they do not have. People cannot process stuff that they do not have. Therefore, it's very smart for us to either get them to download that application or we use similar analogies. So for the computer example, we may not have Microsoft Word, but we have Notepad. I guess that would work. That's us creating an analogy. But let's say we don't want to use Notepad, then what we need to do is we need to take the time to download Microsoft Word. And from there, we have Microsoft Word, just like this person has the central idea that we can build around. So process and storing of viewing human beings as computers go hand in hand. We more often than not can process stuff based on the amount of information that we have in our storage system, aka the memory. Which brings me to the next part, storage. Storage is just memory. Once you're done writing this document, you want to save it, right? And for human beings, it's pretty much the same exact thing. I mean, whenever we are using someone's memories, we're tapping into it, we automatically have them engaged. In public speaking, we used to say, It doesn't matter what you say after you make someone laugh, they are paying attention. And whenever we're viewing human beings as computers, it doesn't matter if you tap into their memory with like the smallest of memories. If it's in their memory base, they are listening. And the final part that we need to understand is output. Output is them now outputting information to us, so we are the ones inputting it. The computer analogy is once we save the document, we come back the next day, we open the document, the computer outputs the information to us, and we input the document. And it's the same thing with other human beings. They'll tell us how they liked the story. And this is whenever I'm telling someone a story, I'll say something like, right? Because when I ask right, it forces them to output, yep, some sort of information, and that keeps them better engaged. So this was a very ambiguous video in terms of talking about principles of a computer and applying it to human beings. I believe if you really understand input, process, store, output of a computer, you can beautifully apply it to human beings. Because here's the thing that computers and humans share in common. They're both information processing systems, and that's all a story is. It's a collection of information that we are taking from our internal world and we are putting it into someone's internal world. So learn more about the art and science of storytelling in my book, The Art and Science of Storytelling. This book is currently available on Amazon, Gumroad. You could just go on the ArmaniTalks.com website and grab a copy. You will learn more about viewing humans as information processing systems, how to create conflicts, how to create characters, and much more. Check out the book in the link in the description box, the pinned comment, or go on ArmaniTalks.com and grab your copy today. Thank you very much for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you next time.